Coming up on Narak Sarang, I will be reviewing the next two installments of Perfect Crown. I believe it would be episodes 9 and 10. And that assessment is going to be brutally honest. So if you think you can handle that, then you make sure you come back here where I will give you my assessment over those next two chapters. Today is May the 8th. So that means I have to wait until I've absorbed the second episode, which is not slated to drop until Saturday the 9th. So thereafter, you can find that show. I will endeavor to get it uploaded before we walk into next week. So keep your eyes peeled for that at some point on Saturday or perhaps Sunday. With that, we're going to jump into my impressions of the episodes that I have been watching with my favorite Ching Boran in Secrets, Lies, and Lies, baby. I don't even remember the name of it, but I'll have it after the jump. That's right, Sunset Secrets and Regrets. I can never remember the name of this title. I don't know why. And maybe I'll be able to actually come to the truth on that as I uncover. Guys, I'm on episode perhaps 8, 9, below 10. I'm not double digit yet. And I just wanted to go through via a character sketch what I'm seeing and what I think of what I am seeing. So this is the first thing I have to say about this. We're going to start with Jing Barang, and I'm just going ping pong around the main three. That's Jing Barang, Elvira, and Jun Jae. First of all, um, you know, if you look at the photo for this drama, it centers Jing Barang. And then, you got Tuntle, he's on the side, and then we got Elvira because obviously she's the female lead. Jing Boran, I love you. You are my favorite, but I'm going to need you to never sign up for another drama where you're literally the reason we're watching this shit and you don't get nothing but 5 minutes per episode. Now, it shakes out to a little bit more than 5 minutes, but I think I was looking at episode 7-ish and I actually timed it. First of all, he didn't appear in the episode, which is about 40 some odd minutes long, about 44 minutes. He didn't appear until the 10-minute mark. Okay? And when he did appear, it wasn't an appearance. And then he came back for he came for like 5 minutes and then came for 60 seconds before the ending credits. I'm gonna need you to figure this out. For me, he's getting you remember the K-drama Hate to Love You? Okay, in that one, they tried to give us two male leads, not like second male lead syndrome. That we can respect to a certain degree because that's just the culture around dramas coming out of Hanguk, especially. You're going to have second male lead syndrome. They used to give it to us. They don't really give us any syndromes now, but we in C-Town. But on Love to Hate You, they gave us like two male leads running concurrent because I guess they felt that the true male lead didn't have enough spice or something to hold the load on his own. And I just felt like, now the other guy was smoking. He is absolutely gorgeous. So I really wasn't too mad to like watch his visual, but at the same time, Jing Boran did not need Junjae to help bolster up his star power. And it's not even bolstering because at this point, Jing Boran is the second male lead in this shit. Now, listen to how crazy this is. And this is your fair warning. You guys have been listening to my first impression of this drama. And for those who are into C-dramas, these types, thank you so much for tuning in because I'm enjoying having viewers who are not career bulls, baby. Yeah. So anyway, And I'm saying career boost, I use it colloquially here at Idoc Sadong for me. A career boo just means that you just got into K dramas or you're a vet, but all you watch is K dramas. It's not an insult because I love shininess and I understand its addictive power. But at some point, I diverted off and I went to other lands and other locales and other places. And I'm glad I did it. But at the same time, I miss my career phase. Okay. So it's not a slur around here. I envy you. I am jealous of the career boos. Those who listen to an episode like this are not career boos. You might be a C-Town boo or some shit, but you're not a career boo. The bottom line is this. Jing Boran deserves to not have to play second fiddle in a drama where he's centered in the photography. Like, why? I don't understand this. Is this the John Ling He effect? But I don't even think it's that. What you mean, Idoc Sadong? Okay, John Ling He in The Pursuit of Jade. I'm still plugging through that, y'all. I know people love that drama and I'm trying to get into it too, but the intrigue with a C drama, the reason why C dramas are effective in my book is because they get on with it and drop the shit so you can binge it. And if you are not able to absorb that drama in a relative one go, you really can't see as much as you want to see. So it's some heat for most people. I'm trying to get there, y'all. But I'm still at the stage where John Ling He is limping around tired. Tiret. Okay? He's tired. And I feel like I get it why John Ling He would sign up and be like, hey, keep all my scenes low key. I want to be in the bed. I'm tired. Because every time I turn around, I got another drama. I'm Gucci's guy. I'm all these other people's ambassadors and shit. I'm tired. So I get that. And it makes sense that he would take a role where he laying down and shit. But he's still very much the male lead though. He still get a lot of screen time under the cover, the hurt and shit. Jing Boran, he don't take every drama that comes in front of him. They are not wringing him out dry. He will disappear for a couple of years to, I guess, protect the integrity of what work he does. Now, y'all, I'm imagining this. I told y'all that I am a writer. I publish books on Amazon. So excuse my imagination when I apply it to these folks, because this is what I see when I look at his filmography. I said all that to say that you not gonna pick a Jing Boran is not the guy that's like, sign me up for a role, but don't give me no lines because I'm sleepy. He does not do that. To me, the star in this one is Jun Jae. And I have to say and admit begrudgingly that he's doing an excellent job and he's gorgeous as well. And may I also say begrudgingly, he is stealing the show from Jing Boran, which is really hard to do for Idoc Sadong. Anybody else, it might be easy for you, but Jing Boran is like up. When I say he is up there with my favorites, man, he's like top. Okay? So I'm not understanding why it wasn't just like, you know what I'm saying? Because let me just tell you this. Based on the photography or the cast ticket or what have you, if Jing Boran's name was not in this, I would not be watching this. And I think the writers, directors, and producers know that shit, which is why you put his name as if he's at the top of the ticket. Like as if we're going to get 70% him instead of 10% him. Because that's what it is. At this point, we are following Jun Jae, which is his name, the government name. We following him hard. Like we empathize with him, we sympathize with him, we connect with him, we're touched by him, even though he's a piece of shite. We think he's a redemptive piece of shite who may be playing 4D chess and all of that. So we have some empathy for him, and I'm cool with all that. But unfortunately, Jing Boran, baby, you know what? He is here to be a motherfucking, I don't know what he is here to be. And Idoc Sadong is not for children. Okay? I use the king's curse words at times too. So Jing Baran is married to Elvira. And remember, I use their government names because sometimes those hit harder and I need to. So, okay, I told you in the introductory phase of this shit that Jing Baran and Elvira got married. And literally, that's all they did. Okay. We are used to the contract marriage, even though the two folks get together and they not really feeling each other or whatever. You always know that both of their ass like each other. There's always that unspoken tension, that resistive tension, that even though they gonna act like they fighting like cats and dogs, the love is still there. You can see it all over their face. You can see it. Jing Baran, I can see it. All in his little puppy eyes. Elvira, girl, if Jing Baran was not in this, I would not have watched it up to episode 8 or 9 or wherever I am. I would not be still watching this. And these people, like these folks that get on these directing, writing, and shit teams, I just need to, is that what I need to do? Because I am a published writer. Do I need to go out and hire me a psychologist? Because at this point, it's psychology making me watch these dramas. Because Elvira has got the kind of output as an actress that would make me quit this shit in the first, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, if that long. So here we are. They got married. They're married. And I was hopeful. I was feeling okay about it. I felt like, you know what? She's going to have to warm up to him. He is extremely tender and loving for not forcing the girl to do things that were going to tamper with her ability to reach out emotionally for him. He wasn't going to throw himself at her, yet he wanted her to know that, look, I have chosen you, baby. You chosen. You are chosen. And what is Elvira doing? Because we all know that's the dynamic of relationships at the end of the day. One of these motherfuckers want to be chosen, and the one that's doing the choosing holds all the power. Except that is not what's happening here. It's the flip-flopped, and Jing Baran wants to be chosen like a motherfucker. Like, he wants to be chosen bad. So, Elvira, she will do stuff like be at work because she's a workaholic. That's what she does. And the bottom line is Elvira is still in love with Junjae. She's still in love with her ex. And it's not like innuendo. It's not like, oh, I'm just guessing this, but I'm probably wrong because her face irritates me. No, she is literally still in love with him, and like every fucking body knows it. On top of that, including Jing Baran. Yeah, because they'll be at work or they'll be in another setting where she has to confront other people and introduce him. And she'll say shit like, oh, this is such and such, because he's not a forensic psychologist, but like a criminal psychologist. And she'll introduce him as such. She'll be like, oh, this is, y'all, I know his name in the drama. Let me give it to y'all. His name is Han Sheng. Oh, this is Han Sheng. He's a criminal psychologist. Not my husband. And the crazy thing is, every time it's time for her to introduce him, the camera goes out of its way to pull in. Is that how you say it, baby? How do you pull in? To move in up close so that we can see that gorgeous fucking mold eye. You know, that faint mole on his left eye? Yeah, they pull in so we can see that shit real good. And we see the expectation, the anticipation on his face of, please let her say it. Is she gonna say it? Please, will she say it? And she never says it. And I'm like, baby, what type of because this drama is giving you more things. Like, Jing Baran is the type of actor, he always wants to, like I said, I think I alluded to this in my first impressions, that if he was not an actor, I think he'd want to be a psychologist, because Every single one of his fucking shows has this angle. He even starred in a damn drama called The Psychologist. Okay, it don't get no plainer than that. I'm saying all this to say that he is I'm a little frustrated by this drama, honestly, because it is a good watch. It's just that it's like false advertising. Jing Baran, if you are ready to watch Jing Baran in this and you're anticipating him having the same ratio, like think Road Home, baby, don't think Road Home. Jing Baran is in pretty much every one of those scenes. And if it's not him, it's Seven Tan. And Seven Tan is watchable. And because Seven Tan is so in love with him, that pretty much all of her scenes are his scenes because she's thinking about him. She's picking the phone up. She's calling him. She's talking to somebody else about him. She's reminiscing about him. So, like, it's always him. That is not this. So, she never says he's her husband. And I'm super frustrated by that because I think that's super high-handed and fucking disrespectful. And for me, bitch, that is not, and when I say bitch and disrespectful, the character, not Elvira and shit. I know I'm using her real name, but you know. So I'm like, you know, it's one thing to still be in love with your ex and your heart be shattered about it, but it's a whole nother thing to think you can get married to somebody and not have to introduce them as such, not even have the, you know, she just like totally nuts up every time she is in front of somebody and it's time for her to tell them who he is to her. Like, okay, he's a criminal psychologist, but most people lead off with, oh, this is my friend, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, this is my coworker, this is my cousin, this is something. So it's irritating me and it makes me not like her character as much. I'm not going to lie. So what's the next thing? So she's in love. And what I don't like about this drama, in case you didn't know that there are things I don't like that the main lead is not Jing Baran. I don't like that Dundre is doing such a good job because it's making me not really care about what Jing Baran has to say. But Jing Baran is the rapper. You know, he's the fragrance. He is what is making us watch this. How dare you diminish what he offers us to just being totally insignificant to the story. So she's scared to tell people that this is her husband. She's also not wearing her wedding ring. Yes. But Jing Baran little hand looks so cute with his wedding ring, doesn't it? And we see him in scenes and we're like, oh my God, he's so cute. But he don't have his ring. He has his ring on, but she won't wear her ring. So when he finally builds the courage, because like, this is another thing that it's not so much that I don't like this. I do like this particular device of storytelling because it does add tension in a good drama, but in a drama where I'm getting this kind of impression, it's making me hate the female lead. Like, it's just making me hate her. Every time she doesn't say, this is my husband, the criminal psychologist, you know, you can see, because Jing Baran is a real actor, baby. You can see it hurts him. It destroys him. You can see that he is, if it means hurting her or scaring her off, he won't say it. He won't do it. And I like, under other circumstances, when I see actors and actresses, their characters doing things that hurt the other person. It's not so much that I like the other person being in pain. It's just that usually that result used to mean that that female lead or that male lead kind of, you know, got their act together and decided that I'm going to create some distance so then we can have the cat mouse game. On this, Jing Baran is just being hurt to be hurt. And I don't like. She is completely tone deaf. So they're in her apartment, which she still has, which, you know, She a G. She like, I'm gonna keep my apartment because, you know. So it is fully furnished. I mean, nothing has changed. She got married. They got married. He got them a damn nice ass apartment and they live in it, but yet she still has this apartment. So she decides that she's gonna go to her apartment and get some stuff, pack some clothes to come back to his place. And she goes and she's doing all of that, and she opens this box of these letters she never sent her ex. Like, she's so totally in love with him. And to be real, you can see why she still loves him. He's got charisma, he's sexy, he's mysterious, he is we'll get to him. But he comes over eventually and he's like, all right, I'm going to come over there. And when he comes over there, he doesn't announce it. I'll backtrack. He doesn't announce it. He knocks on the door. She opens the door and she's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, okay. So she lets him in and they're talking and she sets him up so he can, chill while she packing some clothes. And eventually it moves into him helping her to pack, because she's like, you know what, help me move all this stuff over to your house. She decides that she's going to do that, and he picks up her ring and shows it to her, and she's like, what? You expect me to wear this? And he's like, well, just wear it around your neck as a necklace. And she's like, well, all this stuff I have to do out in the field. And I'm like, girl, watching her be a cop is like watching 6-year-olds play cops. No, not at all. Her most successful thing she's done as a cop is pull in. I keep saying pull in, baby. Roll up to a perp that's handcuffed to that little desk they sit the perpetrator in. And she's taunting him with her little female partner because she's got this harebrained scheme that she would damage his ego in order to get him to crack. And it starts to work. It does work. But she rolls up too close and he headbutts her ass. That's the most efficient job she's done thus far. So it's like, okay. And so he's like, okay. So he closes it and he puts it. And I'm just like, what planet is this? There is nothing likable about her. I don't understand why he loves her so much, except I do. So she eventually takes him home. Her parents are happy to have her here. She's got this boy. He's like a neighborhood friend, and he's just a total hater. He is a straight up hater, a complete hater. So, he's like, I know you still in love with John Chung, which is her boyfriend, her ex's name, and everybody knows that you're still in love with him. So how dare you go and get married? He's just a straight up hater. He invites them. Well, he didn't invite them. They all go have hot pot. And he goes so far as to FaceTime with the ex. Wow. Jean Baran is eating crow at this dinner. Like, Fat Boy, which is her friend, he's talking about the ex. He's insulting Jean Baran. He is, FaceTiming the ex. And then he shows her and him. And just, it is completely ridiculous. And Jean Baran gets into like a dick measuring contest, and he decides that he's going to drink. Jean Baran does not drink, but he decides he's going to do this anyway. And he does it with her friend, and he gets smattered. And so he ends up in the car with her. And it's a scene, it's such a Jean Baran scene. Because Jean Baran, for everything he wants to maybe run away from when it comes to romance, Jean Baran, you listening. For everything you want to run away from in choosing these roles that maybe have more nuance and more depth because they offer, other layers than just you macking on somebody, baby, that's where you shine, okay? You can be crazy and shit in the drama too, but that's where you shine. Because your vulnerability in that drunk scene in the car, where they're in the car, they're in the back seat, and he's been drinking and he's talking to her and he's like just bearing his soul. And he like, I don't know if he sucks on her neck so much that he starts biting it or if he just bites it straight out. He do some old mannish ass shit. And, she's flinching away. And he's like, I love you. And it's a total Jing Badang scene because it's just his fucking face. The profile of his face and him pulled all in close like I'm about to do exactly what Idak Sadang wants me to do right now. And what do you think Elvira says when he says, well, I need exactly what I'm doing? Nothing. Dead air. She doesn't say anything. She just stares at him. And then he lays down in her, like the nape of her neck. And he's just so emotionally destroyed. I don't know that I'm not going to say he cries because I don't see any tears, but just the torment on his face is like, so they wake up the next morning and, she gets up and all that. They're at the parents' house and I'm kind of all over the place with this because this drama has me all over the place and figuring out what in the hell. So when she takes him to the parents' house, it's all good. They're married, so they get to stay in the same room, which I'm shocked by. I thought they still would have had to separate rooms, which I was ready for that tension of, him coming to her room, like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like something, give me something. But they in the same room and, they get into bed very dispassionately. Not Jing Banan. Like Jing Banan is... I hesitate to call him sex because I don't know if I have any C-drama actors that I say are sex. And you got to listen to other episodes to understand. For me, sex is just an aura. It's a BDE that's so big that you're just sex. And it's not even a derogatory thing. It's just that your whole essence is just like, we're not playing. I'm not playing with you. That's the essence. That's the aura. But when he gets into bed, it just feels like some kind of a sick dystopia that you would get into bed with Jing Baran and just like go to sleep like, you in the bed with your cousin or some shit. So they go to sleep the next morning. Her arm is wrapped around him. Her leg is wrapped around him. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? The shit that me and you would do to Jing Baran on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like all up on his ass. So she wakes up and she discovers that she's wrapped around him. Now, let me tell you how sick it is that Jing Baran has to, like, how abusive she is to me. And I know that's a big word in 2026, but I'm just saying, like, that he has to siphon some level of satisfaction out of that. Like, when she does that, Jing Baran has mastered the closed mouth smile. He's mastered that, and you can see the delight in his face, this closed mouth smile. He does it in his own way. Nobody can do it like he does it to me. And he does this very faint smile that shows, ooh, wow, she really does love me, and he is so subservient to her that his stiff, boordish, manner, he's like laying like a plank of wood because he would rather die in that position than to disturb her sleep. He probably got to go to the bathroom. He's probably, so she wakes up before he ain't no telling how long he's been like this. He's just woke. And when she discovers that she's all coiled around him, she hurries up and races to the other side of the bed. And it's just like, girl. Okay. So he's like, can you help me up? Cause I'm numb on the right side of my body. And she's like, oh yeah. He's just like struggling to get up. And so I guess I'm done with those two as a character sketch. Cause can you hear this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are just so many moments of her. You have all these like brushes with temptation to have to confront. what she's going to describe him as. There are like 4 or 5 of them between episodes, 2 and 8. It's not like just one isolated. It's the whole time. And every time he's just devastated. And he wears it without speaking so well. So let's move to Junjae. Junjae is multifaceted. And that's pretty apparent. I did not realize until, sometime that he is a dirty cop gone rogue. He's an ex-cop gone rogue. And in my estimation, what happened to him is that he may have gone undercover and just not been able to get out. I get the impression that he's drowning in his undercoverness. Now, we know that an undercover cop has a mission to complete, and that mission requires that he takes on the persona of a bad guy. And unfortunately, I think he got in too deep, and he's still stuck there, even beyond prison, even incurring injuries and all these different things. At the beginning of the drama, he is propositioned as having cheated on Elvira. And this is why she carries this deep-seated, unhealed wound when it comes to Junjae. And they haven't revealed it quite yet, but to me, innuendo points to that he didn't cheat on her. He's extremely loyal and devoted to her. It's just that it looked like it because of what he had to do in his in too deep state. They're perplexed at the police station because Junjae or Chang is at the center, the epicenter of all of the crime surrounding this case of this dead woman who was in love with him, but he utterly, and I'm talking about completely rejected him. I'm talking about give you my body on a silver platter rejection. And he looked at her like, baby, nah, I don't know. Wasn't no baby in that. He just didn't want it. And she was like, man, why don't you want me, this and that? And he was just like, dude, I'll be back Thursday, and don't be done. Don't talk like this when I get back. He just completely rejected her. And you can tell he still loves Elvira because he reacts as a result of her new relationship with Jin Boran, that he knows she's married and, all of that, and saw her on surveillance outside of his club one night and, got totally jealous. But you get the impression that underneath all the layers of the undercover, because like when he has to deal with, let's just call him the boss, when he has to deal with the boss, and Junjae is able to get himself out of a jam real good. Like he's super witty. He's so intelligent that when he's at the brink of death, like the boss comes and confronts him at the club, and the boss has got all the evidence and shit, and he's like, no, let me show you my evidence, and he turns the tide, and the boss ends up, as a result of all of that case he put on for him, it results in Jian Chung getting a promotion. And you can see Jian Chung is like, no, he hates it because he wants out. But every time he performs, basically in Jian Chung's world, to do a good job means to cement his place in his in too deep position. Like he wants things to not be the way that they are. So he's got to do all these dirty, ruthless things. But at the same time, like when the boss has somebody that he's about to, murder or something like that, you can see that Jian Chung is bracing himself like, please don't do it. Don't let it happen. So he's like still a good guy underneath all that layer of villainness. And the female lead is still in love with him. And even the police chief knows that, when she goes to his office and tells him, hey, Jian Chung, there are layers to him. This is not what we thinking it is. And he was like, I know it does seem that way. I feel the same way. So what is the conclusion to this? I don't know. This drama is, I'm on episode 9, and this drama is 28 episodes. So in 19 episodes, you know, Jing Baran, who seems to have a deep psychological issue. He seems to have a mental fatigue that in one scene we see him seeing somebody for, and they're prescribing him some medication that he wants to reject because he feels like it's going to lower his mental abilities. And she's like, don't worry about that. You need to be worrying about your damn life as a whole. So it's like, we know how it goes. When people are on those psychotropic drugs, a lot of times getting off of them is more detrimental to that person than keeping the dosage going in your body. And it does seem that Jing Barang has some secrets. And really, at this point, the way Elvira is acting, I am actually welcoming Jing Barang, his shadow taking over, because she is just not giving him what he needs. And I feel like, if it were not, I'm not trying to make his mental instability her fault, because granted, I think that he acquired these mental issues prior to her ever being a thing to him, or not, because Jean Baran knew her as a child. I'll try to circle back to that. But I will go ahead and say that on a professional level, where he may have acquired a lot of the ones that are affecting him more immediately, maybe she's not at fault for that. But I will say that, I welcome him being darker, because I think that that's what's going to make her like him, because she's totally in love with Jun Chung. Now, on the note of when they were of Jing Baran and Elvira and their past, they had an extensive childhood. I'm talking about the kind of childhood that nobody would forget. Elvira seems to not remember that she was basically his play mama when he was little. You know what I'm saying? She was his rescuer. Jing Baran was the odd man out. He was the black sheep of the children. And he was just mercilessly treated badly for that. He was also abused by his parents and all that. And when he recants certain things to her that they did as children, she don't remember shit. Like, it's like you would now see dramas are want to make these people not only lovers but star-crossed lovers. Like, you have got to be in love since childhood. You can't just meet somebody when you're 25 and keep it popping on to the end of life. Nah, we have had to always been in love. So we're getting that too. And Jing Baran had a very bad, he's the poster boy for a bad childhood. But Elvira was at the center of all of that. And I'm just trying to figure out, girl, why are you behaving as if you don't know him? How can, yes, you can go on a blind date with somebody because somebody hooked you up and you don't know anything. You're like, great, I'll go. Because in this case, it was her parents from the first episode. But baby, it's not a blind date no more when you get there and you realize you knew this guy when you was 6. Like, is that still a blind date? So this drama, I have paused. I don't know if I'm going to go back. I think that what will entice me to go ahead and go back is that Jing Baran does seem to have something about his psychological state that is going to be triggered in a darker way than I think any of us are expecting, because this simp, not a pimp, sucker that we're seeing now out of Jing Baran, I just cannot believe that this is a best is behind me scenario with him. Elvira, she has peaked. Her acting has peaked for me. Okay? She is going to be a 6-year-old cop whose shoes look too heavy for her damn legs the whole rest of the drama. I got it. Jun Jae, he knows what the fuck he's doing. He is a well-established, seasoned actor who really don't need no help. He didn't need Jing Baran's help in this, and neither did Jing Baran. I am sorry, baby, but no. And Jing Baran, it is his time. It's his time. So I'm just asking. But for the psychological bent that may present itself in Jing Baran as this drama unfolds, that is why I have to come back. And if I have to, it's look, y'all, this is the crux of it. This drama is good, but I don't like that it's not good because of Jean Baran. I don't like that Jean Baran really doesn't contribute shit to it right now. This is what I want moving forward. I want Jean Baran's little psychological darkness. I want that to surface, and I want it to come out in a bad way. Like, I want him to maybe even be the enemy to Elvira and let her kick rocks over there to Jin Chung, who she wants. He is good. He's a good guy. He's layered and shit. Let them get back together. Let Jean Baran be like a serial killer who nobody knows who he is. Please let that happen. But before all that shit unfolds, I want him to mac on Elvira. Why? Because he's got to redeem himself romantically. Jean Baran is that dude. He does not get the chick in the drama. I'm just asking. And right now, John Chung, he getting all the chicks. The little prostitutes and shit, the little prostitute rings that run around all of China, they all want him. She want him. The cops want him. Like, the boss want him. The co-workers want him to defeat him. Everybody wants him. Baby, I'm going to need y'all to fix this shit. I sure am. Jean Baran is that dude. Okay? I'm just asking. So that's what I need moving forward. And as long as you're down, I'll come back to this drama and I'll tell you everything I thought about it.